What's up guys, this is Frenzy, and this is going to be the replay day for my castle rebuilding series. So we're going to just take a quick look through here. I'll explain a few changes that I made and then we'll hop into a couple of replays. So it's only been one day since I changed my castle and I've already been getting a ton of replays from people and I've had pretty good success overall. So these are the most recent. Let's go down to where I first changed my castle. So I'm looking for okay, so this guy right here, I changed it one day ago, so for a replay this is 2 days ago, but this was the shield that I was using to start editing. I had 1 hour of shield, this was it. I think I had 2 hours total, and I started doing it about 1 hour into that shield. So everything beyond this is recent, it's for my recent castle. So if you look through here, I've actually had quite a bit of success with this castle. A lot of people ran it multiple times. This guy Salad Face ran it a ton of times. I believe 16 in total, and then he finally got through on his second day of trying it. We had like this one was obviously not real, only 2 seconds, so level 30, but not real. This level 28 though, both real. So that's 3 levels over my castle. Zombies Bum, someone who I've done his castle a couple of times, ran it, died level 30. This level 30 finally made it through. I mean, if a level 30 is going to make it through, used 4 potions, he didn't take all that much time, but he's 5 levels over my castle, so I can't really count that as like a super big loss. I mean, he hardly stole anything from me. And then a bunch more Salad Faces. He finally makes it through. That was about the best person who's made it, like the best time and level that's made it through. He used 16 tries total, and he used 8 potions at the end to steal my loot. So I'm not super worried about this. I think that when the patch goes through for potions, 8 is probably going to be on the high side. Probably, I would think, 5, maybe 6 for my level. Maybe 7, but I don't think so. A lot of people can get through with 5, so I think 5 would be the high end, probably. And then a couple level 29 with the mage. I believe he's also a viewer because I did his castle. So he may have even seen my castle. Actually watching through, I think he might have watched the first episode of my castle, my castle building, because the way that he was kind of reacting to it was different from everybody else. So I think he might have already seen that and then went through to see the finished product, So he finally made it through level 29. So I've lost 3 times. One of them was a level 30, one of them was a level 29, and then one of them was kind of legit after 16 tries. So I'm feeling pretty good about this defense overall right now. So let's take a look at just a couple of things that I changed. So I was able to add in 2 ballista traps instead of 1. I had 1 kind of like in this area before or something, or up here, I don't remember. But I was able to basically add in 2 instead. So this is basically covering this corner and covering this corner as they wait for this mob group to come around, okay? So that's basically one change that I made. I think I messed around with the positioning of this a little bit. I moved it down maybe a little bit slightly. I don't exactly remember how it was before, but I believe I changed that, and I also changed this because it was hitting this wall. I had it over more before, and I thought it might shoot over the wall. It doesn't. It hits the wall, so I had to move it a little bit. And I might still have to move it 1 hex to the left upwards area so that it can shoot down this hallway. I'm not 100% sure yet because I recently changed this. I don't think I've made all that many changes other than that. I think that's pretty much it. So let's jump into some replays really quick. Alright, so let's look kind of all the way down. Where did it start? Somewhere in here. Let's see. So let's watch the first Salad Face run through, I guess. It's 5 minutes long. We'll probably speed it up to ×2 for most of these replays so we can get through more of them. Oh, I remember this one actually. This isn't actually 5 minutes. He sits here and taunts me for like at least 2 minutes. It's kind of absurd, but yeah. So we'll wait until he actually starts going. Come on, you can do it. Let's go. Alright. There we go, he finally starts running it. So we'll run it on ×2 speed after this. Right, so he pulls 2 groups. He takes a reasonable amount of damage here. He's going to have to potion probably before this group is over. Yep, so 1 potion there. So I'm reasonably happy with that. It's also taking, I mean, I can't see exactly the times because he stood there and taunted me for a while. So I can't see exactly how much time it took because I don't remember where it started, but I think it's taken over a minute, so I'm pretty happy with it. This room hasn't changed much though, I just rotated it. Yeah, it's definitely taken over a minute, almost 2 minutes at this point, I think. And then he finally gets through it. Alright, so that's pretty good. Also, the muttons are level 26 now. I upgraded everything that could be upgraded to 26, and there's enough level 24s inside of it as well so that my castle evened out to 25. And again, having some trouble and ends up dying right there. So he didn't even make it to any of my kill zones, just died to the mobs in it. Alright, let's go back down into some more of his. Somewhere where I think he might have died in one of the kill zones would be good. Something like 322 feels right about where it should be. Or we'll do 322. Started off on ×2. We might pause it as he gets a little bit closer to dying. Alright, so again he pulls 2 groups. A lot of people have done this. I mean, it's not really a new thing. A lot of people decide to pull both of these groups. I'm not sure why. It's pretty difficult groups. And it takes over a minute worth of time. Makes him use one or 2 potions. I don't remember if he used one earlier. And then he gets into the second group. Scorpio comes around, does pull him into the secondary group here. And he may have to potion. Yep, he did have to potion again. So another potion, and we're approaching about 50 seconds here. 55, and 1 minute. So again, not too bad of a room. I would like them to take slightly over a minute at this point, but not the worst ever. Again, he pulls both groups. We'll slow it down at this point, just to kind of look. Because I'm still seeing if this stuff is working properly and stuff like that. So this room isn't quite as effective. He's not through it yet. I mean, he's up to 40 seconds, which is okay. It's not amazing though. You know, I have, I think, like a total of 8 rooms, 9 if you include like the treasure room or something like that. So they have to take close to a minute to be able to get through. I think they have like 7:15 or 7:30, and then bam, right onto the first kill zone, and doesn't quite die. So this is the one thing that I was talking about. I was talking about previously, where if a knight is fully healed, he won't quite die to this. It's not the biggest deal in the world. I mean, this guy's on the high side for hit points, I think, at this level. 3,900 is pretty high, and he still ends up dying to it because it is pretty difficult to deal with even afterwards. So I'm not super happy about the fact that he didn't die in the kill zone, but I think a majority of people will die there. Alright, so let's look at a different one here. Let's do like one of these archers. We'll do Octoshape, level 28, his first try, see where he dies. 245, it might be in a kill zone, but it might not, because he is a little bit higher level. He'll probably get through it a little bit quicker. Running on ×2 for right now. Let's see. So again, this pulling 2 groups is like, you know, a pretty big thing that people do. It's very common for people to pull both of these groups. He's level 28, so he gets through it a little bit easier than most. And this guy pulls both of these groups as well. That previous room only took him about 50 seconds. I'm a little bit okay with that just because he's a higher level. He's 3 levels over, so that's, you know, getting to the high side. I'd say 2 over is where you should be aiming to be able to beat. If you can beat people at least like half of the time, 2 levels over, and then, you know, maybe 60% of the time and then 70% of the time for your same level, I think you're doing a pretty good castle. So again, that one took him about 45 to 50 seconds. This one is going on about 15 seconds, 20 seconds, you know, 30 seconds. He's right around going to be finishing it up at about 45 to 50 seconds each room. And that's pretty common, I think, for 3 levels over. Alright, so it is going to be this area here. He's going to get pulled, and instant death. So this guy had 3,100, died instantly. Alright. Let's look for someone who makes it a little bit farther. We could watch Zombies Bum. We're actually going to definitely watch him, because he told me not to, so we're going to do it. I think this guy actually dies in the exact same spot. 312 seems very similar in time. Maybe it could have been the second kill zone, actually. Let's watch Salad Face again at 419. Let's see if he gets through the first kill zone here. Times 2. And we'll watch a couple losses as well. Probably not the level 30 because that's pretty obvious. He's just going to kind of rambo through the castle. I mean, my mobs are super underleveled compared to him. You know, at level 30 you should be fighting maxed out mobs, which is like level 32 and level 30, I believe. So my like level 24 is like 2 levels under, and then level 26 is 1 or something. So it's a full tier under for pretty much everything for level 30s. Alright, so after he's been running this castle a little bit, you're noticing he's getting maybe a little bit quicker at doing it, but then again, not really. I mean, it's still, for the second room, we're hitting about 2 minutes, so still about a minute per room for the first 2 rooms. Now you have to understand that kill zones are going to be a little bit quicker, on the quicker side, so, you know, only having a minute per room is a little scary at this point. And then this room, I may have to change it just because I'm looking at this and it's about a solid 45 seconds every time. We really need to add in about 15 seconds there, so. Alright, so he did well, finally, after dying to this a couple of times. He's finally started to wise up and he's going to get past this area. This is, I believe, the first time. He's on his, like, 7th try, I believe, and it's the first time getting past this first kill zone, so he's probably pretty happy. And we'll slow it down here for this one, as he's getting closer to dying. If I can ever land on 1x speed. There we go. Alright. I haven't counted how many potions he's used, but these are pretty high potions as well. They're for the level 25, so I mean they're pretty expensive per stack. The problem is I have so much gold because I don't have any upgrades that require gold anymore. If he ever gets to my loot, it's going to be worth it for him. So I'm not sure if he dies to these or if he dies to the second kill zone. I remember I watched one of his replays that he just ended up dying to these Stairmasters randomly after evading the pull, but it looks like he's making it past this. And yep, I see what's coming here. You see a jelly wall here. He actually tries to go through it for some reason, doesn't notice the snotter under the jelly wall, gets pulled into the next group, gets pulled into those, and just a clean kill right there. So that one actually did kill him at 4,000 hit points. So it's kind of, you know, it's right on the edge. If you probably get like 1 crit, you kill him or something like that. For 4,000 hit points, I think that's pretty good. Alright. Let's look at... Let's see. I suppose we will watch Zombies Bum with the 3 resurrects used, level 30. He should have steamrolled me. But yeah, I mean in his defense it was, you know, like 4 AM his time, so. We'll ×2 it for a little bit. And I mean, you can see he's got quite a bit of DPS because he's 2 tiers above me. He's going to be able to get through this pretty quickly. I believe he resurrects and goes through the entire thing in 4 minutes and 48 seconds. He makes it through the whole thing, so, you know. I mean, that one still takes about a minute, which I really like. The fact that a room takes up to a minute, even if you pull both of the mob groups and you go through it as fast as you can, that's a really solid room. That's why I like that first room. It might stay with me for quite a while. And you also have to be kind of aware that people play it more on the safe side in the first 2 rooms, and then the third they start to get a little more aggressive, and then the fourth and fifth and sixth they start to play a lot more aggressive. So he actually just gets gunned down by my Zeke there. So the Zeke actually has the opportunity to kill you, you see there. Even at a level 30 with 3,100 hit points is pretty average for an archer. I'd say even a little low probably for level 30. I think like, you know, 35 to 3,600 is probably average at level 30, maybe. I have 2,800, so I'm actually on the low side for my level, I believe. So that's his first death from the Zeke, gunning him down. And second death, gonna get hit by my first kill zone from max hit points to nothing, and he had, you know, a couple more balls that he could have went through there. Ends up resurrecting again, and I mean the volley's gonna be brutal against this, especially from a level 30. So yeah, everything just pretty much dies to the volley. Oh man. I don't think volley will be nearly as OP though if they add in Fog of War. I think that's really what they need right here. Is if, based on your line of sight, seeing what there is. And then he skips the Snotter underneath, gets hit, actually misses the bear traps, almost makes it out, but still gets snagged by the second Hunger Bot there, and ends up dying to this as well. And then I believe he won't die through the rest of the castle. I think he's good to go now. But he dies in both of my kill zones, and he dies to one of my Zekes, so I'm pretty happy about that. I think I did actually change something in that room as well. I moved my Snotters as far back as possible because people were able to aggro him like from the middle of the first jelly wall, and I wanted them to be all the way through. So they had to try to fight the Jimbo in that small space. Alright, and the boss room, he's probably going to clean it up relatively easily. Gets pulled around a little bit. I'm still unsure if I want to keep that Hunger Bot in there. I haven't really been watching for that all that much. That was more of a test for me, because I wanted to have more pulling towards the center, but that might not be the right call. And then he finally gets through. Alright. Let's watch Salad Face as he finally gets through my castle, and see if there's anything that I can change. 6:43 when he has 7 minutes and 20 seconds. I have to save 40 seconds overall for someone who's went through my castle 16 times. That's probably not the hardest thing in the world to do, to be honest. 40 seconds is quite a bit of time, I guess. I would probably just have to have like 2 of my damage dealing groups being really big tank groups, I would say. And we also have to look for some like lucky crits and stuff like that he might be getting. That's making him get through certain groups a little bit quick. He also uses 8 potions, so that's more of a on like the Zerg side where you're just kind of going through and pulling as much as possible. Like people who don't pull both of these groups are going to take longer than people who pull both. If you pull both, and you notice he pulled the second one right after he gets done killing this one. Like that's because he just knows my castle very well at this point. So he actually is able to cut down the time by about 10 to 15 seconds right here, because he pulled it while he was fighting that. Like he was up next to the Scorpio who was about half life, he used his Lashing Flames on one to start the pull to come through. And that's only because you know that this Scorpio is going to take a second to walk all the way around. So that saves you a little bit of time. Same as here. He's almost done fighting the first group, so he's going to pull the second group. This guy's playing really well at this point. That being said, if this Mega Mutton was like right behind that Snotter or something, then he has to fight two things at once, so... But yeah, you can see he's going to save a little bit of time here. Just by, you know, playing it out well. 15 seconds so far he's technically saved, although I think he saved a little bit more, to be honest. But if we're looking at the baseline of like 1 minute per room, saved about 15 seconds by doing that. Alright, I'm going to speed it up a little bit, because he doesn't die or anything, so we can just kind of watch him go through. This group, I mean, waiting for it is probably a mistake. He should have probably kept going. So I would say that like those 15 seconds are pretty negligible at this point now. because it's not a damage dealing group. It's really only there because I want someone to stand around and wait for it that's inexperienced in my castle. He almost actually died there, to be honest. Kicking the Scorpio into those was maybe a mistake, but... And he knows that this is here. Well, actually, I mean, he doesn't even target down the Snotter, he just kind of tries to dodge the hooks, which is fine, it works. And then this, that's fine. I don't really expect this to kill anybody if the first one fails, but it's got the Hunger Bot there just to kind of add that possibility. Yeah, you notice that I have my Snotters now under this this jelly wall, the same as on the other side, so that you can't really get it just by like hopping in here and shooting down that way. Skips the Snotter over here. That's fine, I think. And then you're noticing how people try to abuse this corner here, but I'm punishing them by having this Ballista Trap here because it's slowly dealing damage. And that's going to matter more and more in the next patch, when hopefully we get the potions nerfed so that there's a limit on them. So he's got 1 minute and 45 seconds and he's just about at the boss room. Probably going to have about 1 minute and 20 to get through the boss room, so that's a little bit too much time. So, I mean, after 17 tries, I guess I should be willing to lose. I mean, if someone wants to waste 2 or 3 hours to get through my castle, I suppose they deserve to get the loot. We'll see exactly how much time I have to save. Looks like about 50 seconds. That's probably pretty. That's a little bit on the high side. I don't think I can save that much time without adding in a couple extra groups, which would be kind of exploity, you know. So there's that one. We'll do probably one more replay. Let's see. Let's do a mage replay. Let's do the first one because I like people who have just see. Now you're gonna notice what I said before, where this guy's a viewer, and I think he did it right after he watched the first part of my castle, and he wanted to see the finished product before all of the videos came out. And you'll notice why I said that towards the end, where my second kill zone is. He might have just seen the Snotter, but it's also possible. I mean, it's more possible that he watched it because I know he is a viewer. I've done his castle and viewer castles before. And he may have just, you know, seen that that's what I was going for, and then he just kind of aggroed the Snotter. That was kind of invisible, but at the same time, he's visible. I mean, nobody else has, out of all of the replays that I got yesterday, nobody else did what he did, which, you know, he might just be a heads-up player. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from him. The fact that I even killed him is good for me, just because he's level 29, so I'm pretty happy about it, regardless. And where is he gonna die? Okay, so he didn't die yet. I thought he might have gotten gunned down by the Zeke. Alright, so let's just slow down around this kill zone. I just want to watch again, because I don't remember exactly how he reacts to this kill zone. Okay, so he waits around for this. He wouldn't technically know that, though, because from the first episode, which is, you know, one day after, I'm making this after I released the first episode. Alright, so he just kind of goes in there. That's actually a little bit risky, to be honest. Not exactly knowing where all the Scorpio hooks are. Like, if I knew that this was the setup here, I would not go down there, because I'd feel like I'm in risk of hitting, like, the bottom hook or something, and having some crazy bottom hook from the Scorpio land onto the springboard and kill me. So that's an interesting move if he had seen it, but this is where I was talking a little bit about it right here. Is like, you can see the Snotter technically. It's there. I mean, barely there, but it is there. And he just sort of kills it. So I mean, he might have seen it under there. Very possible. But yeah, that's one easy way of dealing with this for sure. It's definitely based on a visual kind of thing to actually hit that hook. But so far it's had reasonably high success, so Until it stops having success, I'm going to keep it in there. Although I do want to say it's not my original idea. I saw it in somebody else's castle. And actually, he gets one shot by the Jimbo. Oh, that's terrible. 2,300 hit points. Yeah, Jimbo will do that to you. Oh, man. But yeah, the kill zone, the second kill zone there with the jelly wall, is not my original idea. I saw it in somebody else's castle. They still had their snotters at low levels where they were green, so it worked even better for them than it does for me. Mine are red, so it kind of sticks out a little bit more. But yeah, I was going through some castles during the Lootathon and I saw it in there. And I thought it was a really good idea, so I had to steal it. Mainly because it killed me, and I was just blown away by the fact that it killed me. I mean, I've been dying to, like, certain traps, but it's like, oh, haha, that was kind of sneaky, but this one was really, really good, so. He probably will hate me by the time that everybody starts copying him because it's on my YouTube channel. And it'll stop working for him because people will see it more and more. So that's how the game is at this point. Everybody copies it. Alright, so he makes it through. Obviously the chest is locked because he died. Alright, so we'll end the video here. That gives you a couple replays. I might even do a secondary replay day. I guess you guys can let me know in the comments if you'd like, you know, another replay day. Maybe the castle will have changed, maybe it won't. But if you guys want just like more replays in general, I can do that. So let me know in the comments if you want that. And yeah, if you guys enjoy what I do, please subscribe. That's pretty much it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.